Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for logging on and being prompt. We'll get started now. First of all, just want to introduce you to Richard. Richard's obviously the general manager here at Brough Golf Club. You've been here for what, a year now, is it?
Yeah, well, 8 months now. Yeah.
That's brilliant. My name's obviously Jake Rhodes. I'm the club sales and support manager at PlayMoreGolf. We brought you all here today really to give you a bit of an insight into what a partnership with PlayMoreGolf actually looks like from the golf club's perspective. I think many of you probably know of PlayMoreGolf by now and what we're all about, but hopefully today will actually give you a really strong insight into what a partnership looks like with PlayMoreGolf from start to going live. So just before we do get started, I've got a few bits with regards to housekeeping. So if you guys have got any questions, I've also got a colleague of mine, so Marcus Weatherburn, again, some of you may already know, is on with us today as well to answer any questions. So just to answer any questions, there is a chat section towards the bottom of your screen. So if you do have any questions, feel free to just pop them across to Marcus, and Marcus will be happy to answer any questions as well. There will be a few questions throughout the webinar as well, just for you guys to interact a little bit with us. So you can also raise your hand by clicking the raise your hand button at the bottom of the screen as well. So if you want to just do that for me now, and I'll hopefully be notified that you all can hear me first of all. Great stuff. I can see a few of you raising your hands there. So thanks for that. And yeah, just fills us with confidence. We're not just speaking to ourselves all afternoon. So as I say, my name's Jake Rhodes. So I've been with PlayMoreGolf for just over 1.5 years now, in a club sales and support manager position. My background, I graduated through a sports business management degree at the University of Central Lancashire. My first job was straight into the golf industry with the PGA, so with the Professional Golfers Association. I worked with the North of England. Just as a tournament controller, so operating professional golf events, and funnily enough, actually, I have hosted the Brough Classic here back in a few years back now, which you guys host year on year. I then moved across to Sports Publications, who are publishers of a number of golf titles, including National Club Golfer and Lady Golfer, which I'm sure many of you are already aware of. A little bit about Richard. Do you just want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Richard?
My background was primarily in health and fitness. So graduated from university with a recreation management degree and spent most of my time working in health and fitness for large companies like Cannons, Muffield, and 10 years with David Lloyd. So some premium brands there. And then went into my first position in golf as manager at Malton and Norton Golf Club about 6 years ago. So I was there for 6 years and a really busy big club, and then made the move here to Brough about 8 months ago.
Very good. So first of all, before we move on to a few questions, which we also prepared a few questions, and like I say, you guys are more than welcome to answer any questions as we're going along as well. Just a little bit about really PlayMoreGolf and what we're all about. Actually, we're a flexible membership operational system, and just a bit about what we're trying to achieve really, and the market that we're looking for. So, you know, some statistics through England Golf, where there's 2.3 million golfers in the UK. Playing at least twice a month, so some key statistics here, and only 900,000 of them were affiliated to a golf club. So we know there's almost 1.5 million golfers across the UK that's unattached to a golf club. So we're trying to get those guys back into golf club membership in a flexible basis by providing the infrequent golfer with a way to actually get value back out of club membership and show some loyalty through a flexible membership. Obviously, golf club membership's been on decline now for the past few years. I'm sure you've probably seen similar trends here and across the majority of golf clubs up and down the UK. So it's a case of trying to increase golf club membership again, really, but by doing it through a flexible system and offering a number of options really within a golf club, so that it's not just one size fits all, really. Obviously, the average age of a traditional golf club member is currently 65, and it's rising 2 years, year on year. So obviously, it's an aging membership population across the UK. We've got some really good statistics to show you a little bit different about the flexible member. So our audience of the PlayMoreGolf flexible membership category is an infrequent golfer. So realistically, it's a golfer who's playing once a month. But rather than visiting golf clubs and using pay and play, with no loyalty to one set golf club, we're trying to get them back into golf club membership and see some of the benefits of being a member of a golf club. Through a flexible membership category with PlayMoreGolf, that gives the golfer the opportunity to actually get themselves back into golf club membership. A little bit of background on PlayMoreGolf and the team behind it. So we've got over 150 years experience in the golf industry and commerce. We launched a sort of original flexible membership category back in 2010, which was the De Vere Club. Since then, we've worked on the Q Fairways flexible membership and Crown Golf, and then obviously under the umbrella of PlayMoreGolf. And we've sold in excess of 23,000 flexible memberships across over 100 different golf courses, and we're driving £7 million worth of additional revenue year on year. We've obviously been operating under the umbrella of PlayMoreGolf since February 2016. Since that period, we're now working with over 150 different golf clubs up and down the UK. A number of those have multiple courses, so there are over 160 golf courses for our flexible members to go and play. What we do for a partner club such as yourselves, Richard, here at Brough, we provide you with a system, so we administrate the flexible membership for you as a club, taking away that added workload and stress. We also offer the operational tools to manage that efficiently, again with no stress. We proactively market that to generate membership inquiries based on that flexible points-based system. So doing all of the work and taking away the added expense of potentially launching a flexible category yourselves. And once we do partner up with a club, we provide you with the online system and the platform to build your own membership category, depending on your own requirements, which we've obviously done here through the launch process, Richard. We're currently official partners with England Golf, the GCMA and Wales Golf, so the strategic partnerships giving those companies the opportunity to educate their members on what PlayMoreGolf's all about and a bit more insight into flexible golf memberships as well. So just to go straight into it then, Richard, so what membership trends have you seen from your background? I know, like you say, you've been here for 8 months now, but during your time at Moulton and Norton, in terms of sort of membership trends over the last few years, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been a challenging market, particularly at Brough. Here at Brough, we have, we've seen a decline in membership over the last 5 years, with members leaving to either join other clubs or just drop out of the game, or take up other sports. So definitely, with increased work commitments, members that have had young families, etc., have tended to drop out. So we've seen a reduction in numbers, definitely. Yeah.
And is it sort of the reduction in numbers that you've seen across Moulton and Norton as well as at Brough?
Yeah. It's challenging in both clubs, really. As I say, the market is competitive. Golf itself has had a difficult period, and with an aging demographic, that's something that we're looking to address, and one of the reasons why we sort of spoke to you guys.
Yeah. So sort of leads us straight into the next question, really. As to the main reasons as to why you were looking to launch a flexible membership. Was it mainly just due to the fact that you were sort of declining in membership, or a notice of that change in behaviour, really, I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we noticed that there was a gap in the market for the sort of infrequent golfer, like you said earlier, who a lot of our members, circumstances had changed. They hit a certain age where young children, families, etc., they would still play golf. Probably they'd still want to, play once a month or once every 3 weeks. But they would be classed a bit more nomadic. They wouldn't want the commitment of an annual subscription, a large annual subscription. We also noticed that our tea usage, we had gaps in our tea usage that we could utilise as well. So that was one of the reasons that we wanted to make the most of what we had in our quieter times as well, without impacting the current members.
Yes, so in doing that, I suppose, driving them towards quiet times, which is something we do, and we'll go into a little bit about, the system itself and how we do that. But that's something really that I suppose may have attracted you towards PlayMoreGolf, and the fact that, you know, we can drive golfers towards the quiet times on the golf course.
Definitely, that's something that is reassuring for the existing members as well, because you know, we have full control of when what tee times are available to PlayMoreGolf members. So you know, we can direct into the quieter times, into the off-peak times, and it doesn't impact on the existing members that are paying the full membership rate.
Yeah. Did it sort of surprise you since launching with PlayMoreGolf, I suppose, that the actual level of control you had in terms of dictating what this product was all about? Were you expecting us to perhaps dictate to you more than we did, or were you expecting?
I mean, you're always a bit sort of sceptical as to you know, what level of control you do have, but it's pretty much exactly like you would administer your BRS tee times. You literally go on and make available what you want to make available. The people that have joined on PlayMoreGolf are used to booking golf that way. They're used to booking golf through tee off times or whatever platform. So they log on to the PlayMoreGolf website and whatever's available, that's the choice for them, and we dictate that. So that works quite well.
Very good. And were there any sort of other underlying reasons as to why you decided to go ahead with PlayMoreGolf?
We had obviously we wanted to increase our membership numbers and increase participation. So not just you know, the actual membership numbers, but you know, the knock-on effect of PlayMoreGolf members using the facilities afterwards. You know, the marketing support, which would drive and increase our profile, and also the opportunity then to convert these people into full members as well. You know, so they're some of the reasons.
So when we did speak back in December, when we first started speaking, wasn't it? We launched sort of mid-January. I know you operated sort of, it wasn't quite a flexible membership, was it a limited play membership? Just explain sort of how that works.
It was basically sort of X amount of rounds, so 12 rounds for X amount. And I think it was more aimed at members who were thinking about leaving and giving them an option to stay at the club and have a connection to the club, you know, aimed at that sort of aging demographic that was thinking about dropping out. It wasn't really aimed at driving new members into the club. It was more of a retention tool, and it was hard to manage because we didn't have the processes in place like we do with the PlayMoreGolf. So you know, how did we manage when people came for a round? You know, some people would just slip through the net. So with the PlayMoreGolf system, you've got the process in place for that. So.
Very good. So, you know, moving away from that sort of limited play membership, then I mean, have you found so far that, you know, your PlayMoreGolf flexible category is a bit easier to manage, takes away more of the workload of yourselves actually managing that in-house? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, it's easier to manage. Obviously, the support system and the website and the portal, etc., are easy to use. And like I've said to some of our members who've asked, how do we manage this? Well, the people that join on it are used to booking their golf online. Exactly. It's their natural, you know, it's that market where people currently go online to book the golf. So they're used to it. A lot of clubs, current members maybe are just getting into that, and they're used to turning up and rolling up. But the PlayMoreGolf members are very savvy and very used to booking the golf online. So it's a great way to monitor that.
Yeah, again, it comes back to, as well, like you said before, protecting your current membership as well. And like you say, it's realising that the type of golfer you're trying to attract into your flexible membership category is a totally different style golfer to that traditional member, isn't it? You know, they behave in a totally different way. You seeing that?
Definitely, yes. As you say, they're infrequent golfers, but they are very, you know, technology savvy. You know, they're literally used to booking everything online. Don't get me wrong, we also give them a different coloured bag tag so that they're identified on the course, and we can see and deal with that as well. So we have the systems in place.
So just back to where it all began, really. So how did you initially hear about PlayMoreGolf, really? And just from start to finish, that process, which I'm sure will be very similar to many clubs up and down the UK, introducing a flexible membership. where you heard of us and the processes that you then went through as a golf club to actually go from start to being live and being operational with the system.
Yeah, sure. It's quite interesting actually, because I actually used PlayMoreGolf example in my interview for the job as something that I'd identified as a possible, something that could be positive to the club. So I used that in my presentation actually. So I've been aware of it before I came here, just through trade journals.
Yeah, you part of the GC.
Yeah. So keep abreast of what's going on. So that was always in my plan to try and look at something like that. And eventually, when we made contact, obviously you came down to the club and we had a face-to-face meeting. You ran through the ins and outs of the scheme, how it works, how the membership works, answered any questions that I had. Following that, went away and had a think about it, a couple more emails backwards and forwards, and then I had a meeting with our marketing director. We went through the presentation and talked it through. He was on board, so at that point then we put it forward as a proposal to the board of directors. Yourself, you came down and presented to the board, which I would recommend is a good way to do it, just to get everybody on board, ask any questions, because they went away from that meeting fully up to speed on how the membership works. Following that, the board were in unanimous agreement to go for it. So that was the sort of initial process before getting set up, really.
And then from that point of getting a decision, I know we came to the decision, was it sort of early January?
December, January time, wasn't it? I think.
And in terms of launch date, we decided to go for sort of mid to late January, wasn't it? In terms of being fully live.
We sort of went fully live from the 1st of February, but we sort of kicked things off last week in January. So, it was probably just over a month between you presenting to the board to us actually going live. So.
Yeah, well, that was it. And like you say, we sort of went fully live as of the 1st of February, where people could come and actually start playing and using the points here. We've got everything up and running. But I think it was about maybe the last 10 days of January where we did some pre-lead generation activity, didn't we? So we switched on our marketing activity to sort of generate some initial inquiries, and I think we actually had a few join us before they could even come and play the course.
I think a few people had sort of heard that this was going to happen, and that was good. Got to a good start.
So this is the points matrix that we obviously decided on. So this is the summer matrix for the 18-hole race. Obviously, we have a separate matrix for the autumn-winter race, don't we? So we'll only actually start working on these as of the 1st of April. Just want to sort of go into a bit of detail, really, in terms of what brought around these rates and the work you did to get here.
I mean, we obviously had a good chat about it and looked at some of the trends in the market and other clubs, but also really important that you look at your usage on PRS or whatever system that you use, really to identify, peak times, quieter times. It is important that you're able to do that, and that was the gist of it, really, that gave us the opportunity to identify quieter times and set the matrix accordingly, really.
Yes, so I've been just looking at the matrix. As most golf courses, you've fully protected that on a Saturday. It gives the flexible members still the opportunity to play at those times, but if they want to play at those times where I suppose the majority of your traditional membership are playing, with the shorter booking window, so there's only a 5-day booking window, they're only, I suppose, filling the last remaining tee times.
That's right, like you say, it's sort of protected that because some people have asked me, we're a little bit worried that we're going to have a massive influx of members downgrading onto that. That is proofs in the pudding there. If they're only going to play 10 rounds of golf in a year, and that's just not right for them. So that's worked really well for us if you get the matrix right, and you can protect that side of things as well.
No, certainly, and like we see, one of the things with the matrix is it's very important to get it right in terms of protecting your busier times where you're busy and where your traditional membership are currently playing, but at the same time making your quieter times attractive, because we know based on all the information we have that a flexible golfer will only play 8 to 10 rounds a year anyway. So even if a points value at your quiet time, so after 5 p.m, let's say on a Thursday where it's only 3 points, if somebody plays there but only plays 10 times, they're only using 30 and 35 of the points, which on average a flexible member will only use half of their points anyway, because they play 8 to 10 rounds of golf, but it's at an off-peak time as well, which by the sounds of it is something that's happening here. So obviously you set all those restrictions as well when people can play in the shorter booking window. What other restrictions did you decide to put in place? So in terms of the member benefits that your flexible members receive.
So we looked at, obviously you mentioned the booking window, so our existing members, full members get 8 days in advance, and PlayMoreGolf members get 5. Other little things like PlayMoreGolf members can play in competitions, but they can't play in board competitions, things like that. They can't represent the club in major competitions. They still get the member benefits of having a bar card and discount on food and beverage and things like that. But the little, you can set your your terms and conditions at club level as well. Whether that's something people realise, but you can set that as an aside as well. So little things like that also help. Because you will get existing members say to you, "Oh, I want to go on to that," but actually, I play 3 times a week, and I play in all the knockouts, and I play in this, that, and the other. It's a different type of golfer. You said that before. It's an infrequent golfer. That's how it's worked for us.
Okay. So just on the partnership then, so we'd be coming up, like you say, we launched sort of in terms of actually being live, wasn't it, the first week of February? So I know we've got off to a reasonable start. I mean, how have you found that so far in terms of the relationship between us and PlayMoreGolf, and what sort of early successes would you as a golf club say that you've seen, most benefit out of working with PlayMoreGolf thus far? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, the working relationship has started well. The support from you guys is great. From a numbers perspective, we've had, I think we're just up to 32 members now on the PlayMoreGolf scheme, which is fantastic. I think we're nearly up to 200 inquiries, which is, in itself is, we just spoke about it earlier, it's a phenomenal amount of people who we can get in touch with and try to invite down to the club, whether they become PlayMoreGolf members, whether they come for a 4-ball, whether they join as full members. It's all, interest in raising the profile of the club. So, that side of things has been fantastic, and the raising the profile. Obviously the systems that you guys have in place have been great for support-wise. 200 inquiries is quite a lot to deal with, and there's times where we've spoken and the guys at head office have picked up some of the inquiries and really sort of follow them up on our behalf. So the partnership has worked really well.
How have you found using the system, I suppose, in general? So obviously we look after a lot of the marketing activity. I mean, I know we've had great engagement from you here to drive those level of inquiries as well. You've had a few come internally in-house, but from all of the marketing activity we deliver online for you, how have you found up that sort of follow-up process from inquiry and moving them towards the sale? Have you found the system quite easy to use?
Yeah, the system's easy to use. I mean, obviously, with my background, I'm used to that with the health and fitness and sales type of things. But it is, even if I didn't have that background, it is easy to use, and I think it's something that golf clubs really lack. They just don't have a CRM system to manage leads, to manage following up leads, etc. So from that point of view, the system is fantastic. It gives you a real good way of managing your leads. Yeah.
So we've got here, as you touched on there, your inquiries and things. So slightly more than 200 so far. So this is sort of the first 2 months really of partnership. So from all of the marketing activity that we've delivered. Obviously, we provided you with on-site collateral pack as well to market to any pay and play visitors that come along to the club. But majority of the inquiries have come straight through from our digital activities. So we've seen 230 new membership inquiries with 32 new members during that 2 month period. Only 14% conversion. So we touched on it earlier, didn't we? Even without potentially picking up the phone to those inquiries that we've already spoken to. You would like to think a good chunk of those will actually still join between now and the potential start of the golf season, which I know we've seen a good volume of joiners over the last few days.
Well, I mean, it's worth pointing out that we launched probably in technically the quietest time of the golfing season, end of January, when the weather's not great, and that's the results that we've had. So we're hoping that will start to continue through the year.
No, certainly. Obviously, a couple more numbers there. So far, in terms of the numbers, is that what you were expecting?
It's probably more than we were expecting, to be honest with you, especially the amount of inquiries and leads that we've had. Obviously the challenge for us is to really sort of follow them up and get those guys converted. I mean, the membership numbers are fantastic. We're really happy with that, but the leads is something that I'm really surprised with, and that just need to make sure that we can follow them up and get them converted, which I'm confident that we can. Yeah,
and I suppose as well, away from your actual flexible membership category, all that data and those inquiries that are being generated, I suppose you continue to communicate with them as well. As a golf club.
You start to develop a relationship with those people, and like I said earlier, even if they don't join as PlayMoreGolf members, they may come for a 4-ball, they may speak to a friend, they may just come down for a bite to eat. But definitely beneficial.
Obviously, the yield per member around there sitting at over £50. I wouldn't expect that to stay at that rate. That will decrease as people start to play a little bit more. But again, backing up, people are only playing potentially once a month. And that statistic does back that up. So we've just got a couple of other case studies from other clubs we work with. Brough have got off to a good start, but it's not something we don't see commonly from clubs we work with. So Brough Golf Club, which is down in Leicestershire, we've been working with them now for 6 months, and again, like you touched on, probably the 6 worst months of the year, and we generated 240 inquiries, 41 new members for Bristol as well. So they've got off to a good start, and like we touched on before as well, you would expect to see a lot of those inquiries joining between now and the start of sort of the golf season, really. Hillsborough Golf Club, a club we've been working with from the early days, really. And I think we spoke about Hillsborough, didn't we, when we actually launched the scheme. So we've been working with them now for 2 years since the partnership was launched. We've generated over 700 inquiries during that period. So, a lot of golfers within that local market. And something that we've not really touched on just yet here, which will start to take an impact next year, is obviously the renewals number. So during that 2-year period, we've seen just over 200 new flexible members joining the club, and 89 of them are already renewing. So obviously we're on a really good relationship with the club there, and over a 2-year period, their yield per round is still very strong. Almost £25 per round of golf. So essentially, that is every time a golfer goes to play. That's what it's worth to the golf club. Just a little bit more back into our relationship. So what sort of activity have you seen us sort of carry out which has helped you achieve those results? So in terms of the marketing, the support, is there anything specific that's impressed you about that?
Yeah, I think the online digital side of things is really impressive. Obviously, you build, spend a lot of time building up the sort of strategy and how you target the specific markets. As a club, we do little bits of that, but it's not in any way or shape or form as technical and as structured as you guys do that. So the amount of inquiries that have come from Facebook, from Instagram, etc., really have been really impressive, and it just shows that you're targeting the right areas, the right demographics, and that has an impact on. I think talk about later about the actual demographic of people joining on it as well.
And of those inquiries that you're seeing coming through, I know we're only converting around about 15% at the minute, but again, expect that to increase as we get towards the season. People you are speaking with on the phone, are you finding they are golfers and they are interested in the membership?
Oh, definitely.
Not just time wasters?
Yeah, definitely. We've got sort of always split into 2 or 3 different sections where we've got ex-members who have left the club. Like I said before, for various reasons. A lot of them have young families and still playing golf, but they're playing once or twice a month at other clubs. They want to be members of Brough, but they just cannot sort of justify the full membership for the amount of golf they play. So those guys are really keen. And also, the other inquiries that come in from Facebook or Instagram or through the website are genuine golfers. They're interested to find out about the membership and what it is. So we've tried to follow them up with a phone call, an email. It's important that clubs realise that it is important to follow them up and try and convert them.
So obviously of those 32 flexible members, have you seen a bit of a trend, I suppose, in what that flexible member looks like in terms of the age, when they're playing, how frequently they've been playing in comparison to your sort of traditional membership?
Yeah. I mean, with regards to playing, it's a little bit tricky because with the time of year, there hasn't been a lot of play. But generally, at quieter times, off-peak times as such, and pretty infrequently. You can tell by the yield, but they're not playing much at the moment, but I'm sure that will change. With regards to demographics and age, well, you touched on it earlier, our average age is 60, I think, of our membership. But the average age of the PlayMoreGolf members has been 47. So that's that's really a market that we wanted to get into. We wanted to get into that market, and get those people back involved with the game. And another thing that's really positive, and we spoke about it earlier, was that in the last 16 months, we haven't had any ladies join the club at all. But since launching PlayMoreGolf, we've had 2 new ladies join the club, and we think that that's going to be a really big area of success for us. So gives us that pathway into membership for ladies that are looking to join the club as well.
Very good. And just again, in comparison to your old sort of limited play membership, which I know said sort of just migrated a few of your full members, those golfers of your PlayMoreGolf category now that are playing, are you finding that easy to manage in terms of the process of them booking and then playing and the integration with your systems?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they book the golf through the PlayMoreGolf website. That automatically updates on BRS, so that is dead simple. These people, like we said, are used to booking their golf online. There's absolutely no problems with that. And if there are any issues, we can actually log on and book them in ourselves as well. So the system is working really well.
Brilliant. So again, touching on what you've just touched on there, really, about what your flexible members are currently looking like, behaving like, and I suppose it does back up a lot of what we've got across our portfolio of clubs and flexible members. So the average age of PlayMoreGolf flexible member is 44 years. So it's currently 17 years younger than an average golf club member. But again, important to realise that number in terms of a traditional golf club member is rising 2 years, year on year. On average, they only play 8 to 10 rounds of golf per year, and as a result of that, they're only using 50 to 55% of their points. Now, just the bottom bullet point there with regards to the retention rate at 83%, that's a very strong number. And you may wonder why, with members only using 50 to 55% of the points, but also the ability to roll over any unused points only if they renew. So, it is a 12-month membership, but gives the member the opportunity, I suppose, to continue to get value out of that flexible membership by rolling over any points that they've already paid you as a golf club for. Our retention rate is very strong at 83%, but year on year, we're seeing 8% of PlayMoreGolf members upgrading to a full membership. So realistically, you as a golf club, your renewal rate and retention rate is going to be upwards of 90%. Just based on a number of those potentially upgrading into your full membership. And again, what you've touched on regarding off-peak golf, we see 65% of golf played off-peak. So that's after 1 p.m. in the spring, summer, and after 3 p.m. in the autumn, in the spring, summer, and after 1 p.m. in the autumn, winter. So it is very much off-peak golf, driving towards your quiet times, and again supported by the points matrix, really, I suppose, which encourages them to play at the off-peak times. So just a little bit about what next for you guys that have joined us today. Obviously, what a partner club will receive from working with us, I'm sure you can back all of this up in terms of what you've received. So, full planning and consulting with regards to that launch process. I know we spoke about the fact that you're in total control of what your flexible membership product looks like. But we're happy with the support that we gave you in that launch process and the recommendations.
You guys obviously work really well with us. We put together an onboarding package and an action plan as to how to get things off the ground, point you in the right direction of who to be contacting your expired members database, your visitor database, that sort of thing, and all that sort of stuff has helped us get off the ground and get to a quick start.
Good. And obviously, we provide bespoke marketing, so sure you've seen already, you know, we do a lot of digital marketing activities, some of which is supported by you guys with video content that's recorded here by Oliver in the Pro Shop. All of that marketing activity to drive those inquiries that we've also delivered here for you, and will be exactly the same for any of you guys looking to work with us in the future. You touched on before, you currently operate with BRS in terms of online booking. So actually our booking system with regards to the PlayMoreGolf members looking to book, it's all fully integrated with your live tee sheet if you have it. If not, it's not a problem whatsoever either. But that's something that we provide with regards to that full integration to ensure the booking process is a smooth transition. We provide you with pre-launch lead generation, again, which we touched on before, and some of that actually resulted in people joining the club before they could actually go and play, just from that pre-lead generation activity. Again, full marketing collateral pack to use here on site. So you've got your banners. Have you got the outdoor external banner by the main road, I think? Yeah,
just by the main road, which is, you know, a really good visual as well. So people see that on the drive past, so that's good,
No, exactly, and vice versa with the things that are on site as well, so your internal banners and things. So it all helps just by people potentially then logging on and popping an inquiry through. So, you know, we provide you with lead source as well, so you can see where those inquiries have actually come from. And obviously, if a club is looking to work with us, we provide you with full system and sales training as well. So I know when we launched together, we came and gave yourself and the other office staff full training, and then the same for Oliver in the Pro. And were you guys all happy and comfortable with using the system after that training?
Yeah, literally from day one. It was all systems go. The guys were happy with it. So you know, it's gradually getting that culture throughout the office now as well. But, you know, the rest of the team are really comfortable with it as well now.
Brilliant. I know we obviously came to a decision sort of December time in terms of working together, so we, you know, agreed in principle a partnership. In terms of from training to go live, I think we sort of did the training, didn't we? Sort of mid-January, I think it was, and then it was around about 2 weeks we gave ourselves, didn't we? Then to actually going live. Did you feel that was enough time, and we were, you know, ready to hit the ground running?
Yeah.
Perfect. So just for all of you with us today, if you would like some more information, we will all be in touch with you to just go through, you know, how PlayMoreGolf can add value to your golf club and the benefits that, you know, you receive when working with us. There are a number of us working with PlayMoreGolf looking at new club acquisition and partnerships. So there's obviously myself. I look after the sort of the Northeast and the East Midlands. We've got Marcus Weatherburn, who's based down in the South. And Ian Berry, who's recently joined the team, who covers the Northwest and the West Midlands as well. So, you know, there are our details on there if you want to come directly through to us, but one of us will be in touch with you all over the next few days, just to potentially arrange a one-on-one and discuss how we can potentially benefit your golf club. So just one final question for yourself, Richard. If you could offer one piece of advice, I suppose, to anybody that's joined us today, thinking about looking to launch a flexible membership category, what would you say to them, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, first of all, you know, do your homework, study your membership, study your tee sheet, you know, make sure that it's right for you. Do all your due diligence, speak to your board, if you have to speak to your members. But once you've done all that, you know, don't be afraid to go for it, because you know, the proof's in the pudding. You know that the impact that it can have on the club is really positive.
And just on that as well, in terms of your integration with your current membership base, how's the feedback been from your current members since launching the category?
Yeah, good. I mean, as I say, you know, speak to your members and communicate to them, you know, why you're doing it, what you're doing, how it works. Because, you know, some will be skeptical, some will think that you're giving, you know, the crown jewels away, but you're not. You know, we have full control over the tee sheet, and we have full control of when PlayMoreGolf members can play. So, which is a lot more than we had on previous limited play membership schemes, and probably the same for other clubs. So, communicate with everybody. Educate them so that they're fully aware of how the system works.
Brilliant. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Richard, for that today. It was really useful. I hope all of you that joined us found that session useful and insightful, really, into how our relationship with Brough has, you know, been really operationally over the last couple of months, and the processes that Richard and the team here went through with regards to launching the category. So again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. think that is your number.